Okay, good evening everybody. I'm Danny Wells, area manager with Arbon, and it is Sunday the 5th of April, Easter Sunday, and tonight we're so lucky we've got Luke William doing his fantastic training, the activity tracker, and we've also got Sam Ball doing her story, her journey. Just see where that echoes coming from. 1 second. Everybody muted themselves. Okay. Just before we start, I'm just going to do a little bit of housekeeping. So on Saturday the 11th, that's this Saturday coming, a week today, we've got the product workshop that everybody's been looking forward to. It's in Melton Mowbray at John Fernley, where we have region training, and that's at 9 o'clock until 1 o'clock. At the moment, that is £10 per person, per consultant, sorry. Guests are all free. So all your family and friends that are coming with you, they're all free. But if we get over 40 people, which is looking quite likely at the moment, that will go down to £5 per consultant. So even more reason for more people to come along. And that's this Saturday. And we've also got a lot of the team coming over from London. So Claire Shaw's Success Line, Monica and her team are coming over. So they're going to join in with the product workshop, and then that evening, we haven't set a time yet, but probably about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, we're going to go out and have a bit of a team social, drinks, few nibbles, and that's open to everybody. So that's a week today on Saturday. Then I also just want to mention that region training for May is on a Wednesday again, because it falls on a bank holiday, the Monday, the first Monday falls on a bank holiday. We've moved it to the Wednesday, which is Wednesday the 6th of May. And 7 till 7:30 will be another Discover Arbon opportunity, and then 7:30 till 9 will be training and recognition. That's Wednesday the 6th of May. I also just want to go over the Share the Momentum incentive that Arbon are running at the moment throughout March and April. If you directly sponsor an independent consultant who does a single order of 350 PQVs, so one order of at least 350 PQVs, you win the limited Arbon clock, and the information for that is all on the Arbon website. Vegas is April, Thursday the 16th to Saturday the 18th, so it's a 2.5-day conference. It's not too late to book your conference tickets and your flights if you want to get there. I've just booked mine today, and I managed to get a really good deal on connecting flights over to Vegas from the UK. So if you want to come for that 2.5-day conference, it's not too late if you do want to get out there as well with us all. And lastly, people that went into qualification in March, there was a 15% reduction. So with the people that went into that qualification, we've worked out how many points are left to do, whether you're completing over the 2 months or the 3 months. Just speak to your upline so that you're clear on how many you need to complete as personal volume and team volume. Okay, so that's everything for housekeeping. Right. Okay, so I'll introduce Luke in. So we've got District Manager in Qualification, Luke William. He joined in January, sponsored by Elin Parford, who's in Claire Shaw's downline. This guy's amazing. Okay, so I've written down, he's only 24 years old. He is a business process engineer by day. He's always been desperate to be self-employed, but was always scared to take the risk and start a regular business. So Arbon was perfect without any detrimental, without anything detrimental. What else have we got? He was I love this. He was an expert in the Beatles film Nowhere Boy, and in countless other films, which he says are on YouTube. So I've asked to see those. He also performed at Disneyland a few times, which ruined his childhood, seeing the characters take their heads off. He's always been passionate to inspire, helping other people to achieve their goals. So welcome everyone, Luke Williams.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me on this call, by the way. I'm so privileged to be able to come on and do this with you all, so thank you so much.
Right, shall I screen share?
Are we going for it? Yeah,
yes, let me find the slideshow. This is such a great training course as well. We saw this at Claire Shaw's region training this week, and it was fantastic. So I was like, Luke, please do this for my team. It's amazing.
Brilliant. So yeah, so like I say, thank you again so much for having me on the call. I completed this training, as Danny said, on Thursday at Region Training, and it seemed to go down really, really well because I got a lot of positive feedback. And the idea of it is about helping you as consultants and also the people that you sponsor to kind of track their activity. Because what we sometimes all do, and I'm not sure if some of you are still doing this, is you kind of plan your weeks in your head and you kind of go, oh yes, I'll do that tomorrow, and oh yeah, I'll do that the next day. But by not writing it down or anything, you're not giving yourself any accountability to actually try and stick to the things that you do and kind of do every week. So this is a simple tool I created, and I've been using it for the last couple of weeks because I kind of reached a bit of a roadblock. Because I was thinking, you know, like a lot of us, why isn't my business growing? And then when you actually sit down and you say, oh, what activity have I actually done? You realize it's not as much as you actually think it's going to, you know, that you thought you did. So this is a really, really good tool. So we'll go to the first slide, Danny. So this activity tracker encompasses the 10 out of 10 technique. So it's a simple way of tracking the activity of you or your consultants and identifying if enough effort to grow a business is being sustained. So I find this, like I say, as a more self-development tool, but it's also there for others if they need it. So the idea is you can benchmark yourself when you're doing activity towards your business. So the idea is if you're contributing between 7 to 10 activities towards your business every week, then you're doing a great job and you're really trying to move that forward. If you're contributing between, you know, 4 and 6, then, you know, this is good, but, you know, where can we work on improving that and adding another activity in and building that up? And then if you're contributing less than 4, you know, you can sit down and go, right, I need to sit with my upline, I need to sit with someone I trust and say, what can I get into my activity every week and try and kind of, you know, increase that and try and improve the way that my business is growing. So it's a really important technique. It's really simple for everyone to remember, you know. I'm pretty sure that after this slide goes, you'll all remember in your head, I need to be aiming for, you know, up to 10 activities per week to be, you know, storming through and growing my business. So that's really important to remember. So should we just talk about what's key in your business in terms of growing it, really? And these are really important rules. So, you know, if you've got a pen and paper, please write these down because, you know, we're going to kind of go through a couple of questions with you all, and I want you to all ask yourself these questions. So go to the next slide, Danny. So what's key? So what I tried to do for myself is I made myself a questionnaire and I said to myself, Luke, are you consistent in your business? Now, I'm not going to lie and say, oh yeah, I'm fantastically consistent. The only way this works is if you're truly honest with yourself. You have to absolutely understand and know your flaws. And you have to say, you know what, I've not been consistent. This is what I'm going to do to try and remedy that. So ask yourself, am I consistent? You know, am I planning activity and sticking to it? A really good example is, and you know, you've probably heard this before, is when you know, organise a Blaze session or you organise a one-to-one, you know, we all get cancelled on. But if someone cancels on you, you know, you have that hour planned out. So stick to an activity and turn it into something positive. Instead of a Blaze, instead of a one-to-one, do you know what? I'm going to call up someone and introduce my business to them. Just plan your activity and stick to it. You know, ask yourself, do you always speak positively about your business? It's so, so important. I'm doing a lot of research on self-confidence and things like that. And, you know, speaking, you know, people buy in to what you say to them. So if you're speaking positively about the business, they'll speak positively. But, you know, also speak confidently to people, because if you speak confidently, people are, you know, so going to get into what you're doing and they're going to buy into you. But if you're, you know, fumbling, forgetting your words, not really sure what you're saying, that's the kind of reaction that people have. Now, I'm not sure if you've heard of something called the moments of truth. Every time you speak to somebody new, it's called a moment of truth. And the idea is that you grab onto these moments of truth and you actually say, you know, every time I'm talking about my business, this is a reflection on my business. So make sure you make it count and grab those moments of truth. Am I the best example of a consultant? You know, and this kind of links into the next points of, you know, am I attending all my trainings? Am I going on to, you know, all my Zoom calls? Am I trying to meet new people all the time? Think about things that you do in your life, you know, going to the gym. Don't avoid people. If you've got an opportunity to chat with them, you know, find ways to understand about them and their lives. And, you know, don't waste those opportunities, because sometimes, you know, you might not see them again and you might have missed a real kind of chance there. Do I recover well from setbacks? You know, that's one we all have to face in this business. And, you know, I've already got mine. I was telling some of the ladies on Thursday, I was saying that what I started doing is I've got a pack of Post-it notes. And everyone who's saying no to me, I'm writing their name down on this Post-it note and I'm keeping it, because I'm so confident that one day that all of those and post-it notes are going to be ripped up one by one as they come back into my business. You know, it's things like that that you do. So, you know, recover from setbacks. You know, people are going to knock you all the time. You know, so what? Seriously, you know, we all know why people do that. So just, you know, crack on with it. You know, reading's really, really important. Another thing that I did, sorry, I keep sharing things that I did, it might help some of you. So yesterday,
keep it real.
Say again.
It keeps it real. I like your examples.
Oh, they're great. I was gonna say, so yesterday I thought I'm gonna have a McDonald's, and I was driving close, and I was thinking, no, I'm gonna have McDonald's. And I got to the roundabout where this McDonald's is, and I thought, I'm not gonna have a McDonald's. I'm gonna save £5, and I'm gonna buy a book. So that's what I've done. So I've not bought my McDonald's, and I've bought a book instead of the £5 that I would have spent at McDonald's. It's little things like that, and it makes you feel so good about yourself. So read. You know, don't let self-limiting beliefs stop you. You know, we're all going to question our abilities and everything, but don't let it stop you. Look at the people in your life that are just normal people. Look at Zoe, look at Danny. You know, they're just normal people who are building businesses. You know, it's that whole ordinary people building an extraordinary life. So don't ever think that somebody's only, you know, they're only doing well at this because they've got a lot of money anyway. You know, they're only doing well at this because they've got a rich mum, or, you know, they're only doing well at this because they had a university degree. I don't have a university degree. I don't know about Danny, Zoe, etc. But, you know, it doesn't take that to succeed in this business. So don't ever don't stop yourself because you don't think you're good enough. And also never write people off. I've come across so many people when I talk to this business and they go, yeah, I'm thinking about joining. And they go, they won't want to do it. They won't want to do it. They won't want to do it. How do you know? Don't write people off. You might write someone off that is going to be the most amazing business builder ever in your whole world. So don't do that. And there's one I've added in myself, which is really, really important. And it kind of, you know, it's the theme as we go along, and it's balance. You know, make sure you have a balance of activity. Don't just focus in one area and, you know, go for the killing, you know, constant one-to-ones, etc., because you won't have the knowledge to back it up. At the same time, you know, don't push and just do read, because all you'll have is the knowledge, but you'll have no skills with actually dealing with people and signing them up to your business. So that's what's key. So over to you, Danny.
Okay, so do you want me to show which is the handout? This one?
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't have that one on this computer. I left that on the work one.
Hang on, let me see if people can see that. Can you see that or not? Or not so much?
Yeah. So am I consistent? Do I always stick to my planned activity? Do I speak positively about Arbonne all the time? Am I the best example of consultant? They're all there. Like I say, ask yourself these questions. Don't be afraid to admit if you're not consistent, because by finding out and admitting it, you can say, what am I going to do about it?
Brilliant. Okay. Oh, have I missed a page? Oh.
No. Oh.
There we go. Okay, right. So objective. So the objective is to monitor and track the activity of yourself or of a consultant. And Luke gave a really great example of this. So if you've got somebody in your team that comes up to you and says, oh, you know, the business isn't moving, nothing's going on, I don't know what's happening, and you sit down with them and you say, okay, let's talk about it then. Let's talk about your activity. What are you actually doing? And then if they look at their actual activity and they say, well, I've got on a Zoom call for half an hour, and then I did try to message somebody, and then you go, okay, did you do anything else that week? And they go, no. Then you can then help them with this activity tracker that Luke's planned out. So yeah, the second bullet point, to help and support where to guide and improve the activity you or a consultant contributes towards you or their business. Okay, so when to use the tracker. So you use this when you or a consultant is struggling to grow yours or their own business, when a consultant requests guidance or a one-to-one, and when you're doing your goal setting. So for me, I set my goals. I set one big goal for the month, and then I set my goals every single week, and I will sit down and I will break it down. So for me, my goals this month is, my big goal is to get into region qualification, and I've broken that down to I need 40,000 QVs, and then I've broken that down to each week. So each week, my aim is to build a business of 10,000 QVs each week. There's 4 weeks in a month, so obviously that's 40,000. So that 10,000 QV a week, I've worked out that I would need to do a Blaze session and bring some guests to it. For this week coming, I need to attend the product training session and bring a few guests along to it so they're introduced to the products. I need to be having a couple of one-on-ones with people, dropping off products with people to try. speaking to people, keeping up those social interactions, like Luke was saying. Rather than if I just sat here and thought, okay, I want 10,000 QVs this week, I'm probably going to go on one Zoom and I might go to a Blaze. That's not going to build my business 10,000 QVs. I need to be realistic. It's how am I going to get these QVs? And it's through the activity. So by sitting down and working out what activity I need, it's going to help me towards that goal. And then what else do I have? And I'm the same with my consultants as well. So when people message me and they say, oh, Danny, my business isn't growing, I don't understand what I'm doing. This is such a great thing. And when I heard this from Luke the day, I thought, guys, this is brilliant. And this is exactly what I'm going to use from now on. I kind of did it loosely, but not as thoroughly as what Luke's put out here. I'd sort of say, well, what are you doing? Like, what's the activity been in your business? But now I'm going to use the activity tracker that Luke printed off for me and gave to me, and sit down with a consultant that's saying to me, my business isn't growing. Sit down and say, okay, what did you do on Monday? Did you read a book? Did you listen to an audio? Did you speak to anybody about your business? Did you lend any products out? And go through each single day. And I'm not saying that somebody has to be putting in 48, 50 hours a week and doing something all the time, but it's just making sure that the times that you are doing, they are productive and they are income producing activities, you know, reading the books, listening to the audios, dropping off products, doing a one-to-one, doing a product launch, business launch. These things are activities that are going to build your business. So this activity tracker is fantastic for that. Okay, so next one. Okay. Right, so activity balance, which, as Luke said, this is sort of the theme going through. So number one, are you talking and introducing people to your business as much as you are, for example, reading a book? So reading a book is great. And as Luke said on Thursday, he reads a few pages of a book a day. I try and read about 10 pages of a book a day. Sometimes I don't do it every day. I put my hands up. I'm not perfect, but I do try and aim for about 10 pages of a book a day. And the books that I buy, I get a pen and I mark in them because they're my books. And I love to write in them, and it makes me learn what's in it properly, and I highlight it and I make notes and I fold pages. And those 10 pages, I don't just read in a blur. I really, really read them thoroughly and make my notes and scribble all over them. And then if I've read 10 pages, I will go and teach those 10 pages to somebody else in a conversation. So if I met with Luke for a coffee, I'd say, do you know what? I read 10 pages of the success principles today and I learned this, and tell him it didn't take me a few minutes, but by teaching somebody else what I've learned, it absorbs into your brain more. So anyway, going back to the point. So reading a book is fantastic. And if you can do that every single day, that's brilliant. If you can spare half an hour every day reading a part of a book, that's great. But are you talking to people as much as you're doing that? Because if you just read books, your business wouldn't grow. You would grow as a person, but your business wouldn't grow. So it's finding that balance. So are you talking to people as much as you're buying products? So buying and using the products is fantastic. And it's a great way to learn yourself how the products work, how they feel, how they smell, what they do. But if you're not talking to people about what they do, your business isn't going to grow. Using the products is going to help you, but you need to be talking to people as well about those products. Are you plugging into the Zoom? So if you're just doing Zooms, which is great if you're doing the Zoom calls and you're going to learn so much, but you need to be talking to people as well. So talking to them about what you've learned from the Zooms and taking this and using it and attending the training. So again, if you're just attending the training, if you're just going to region training once a month and pop into a Blaze maybe twice a month and thinking, why is my business not growing? It's because, yes, you're doing those, you're going to the training and you go into the Zoom, you go into the Blazers, and that's great, but you need to be talking to people as well. So it's finding that balance between doing all these things that are going to help you grow as a person, but talking to people is what's going to grow your business. Reading the books, using the products, the Zooms, the trainings, they're going to help you to talk about your business, but you need to be talking to other people about your business as well. So training and reading a book will grow your knowledge, but not your business. The key is to have balance of activity every single week. Oh, I love that. That's great, Luke.
Is that back to me now, Danny?
Yeah.
Right, so what I've tried to do with the activity tracker is break it down into 3 categories so that we can kind of have a balance across the 3 categories. So the first category is social media. You know, there's some trainings coming out now about how to grow a successful business within social media. You know, people are saying to us, you know, don't ignore social media because we're in the 21st century and we should be using it to promote our business. Look at people like Donna Johnson and the people that Danny met in Arizona. You know, they're the people that grew their businesses without any internet, and we've got such a privilege having this technology right in front of us. So what I try to do with the activity tracker is break it down. So, you know, those of you who haven't got a Facebook page or a Twitter account, You know, start speaking to people that knows how to set these up. It's great to get yourself out there, start sharing your experiences with the products, you know, because it's good. You know, we see all these other people that have their businesses and we jump on their pages, but start making your own page, you know, start taking control of what you do. A great tool for those of you that do have Facebook pages and Twitter accounts. It's an amazing tool. It's an app you can get on your phone called Buffer. And what Buffer basically do is it can schedule tweets for you or schedule Facebook notifications. So if you think, you know, I just haven't got the time to update my Facebook every single day and, you know, release a really good article or put a picture up. So what Buffer will allow you to do is maybe you can put like an hour out on a Sunday to say, right, I'm going to plan all my tweets for the week, and you can set the date and the time, and then we'll just release automatically. So then that helps you grow, you know, gain more time to yourself throughout the week. So definitely you get Buffer. What's that say? Does that mean I need to come? I don't know what that means.
Oh, well, it's drop down. I think it just does it. I've not read the technology.
So Buffer's a great tool for everyone. So please write that down. So then I broke it down to face-to-face, which is all about your one-to-ones with your friends and your family and your cold markets, warm markets. You know, then there's a blaze. Are you having a party, product evening, signing up a PC, signing up an IC? They're all points towards your 10 activities in a week. Training, weekly Zooms, Arbonne University, reading a book, and Region and Leadership Academy. All these kind of things. So like I said, the idea is to help you have a balance of all three. Be present on social media. Be present in your warm and cold markets and introduce people to the business and the products. And get your training. Training will give you knowledge. Face-to-face will give you skill. And it's really, really important. Another tool I talked about on Thursday, actually, I didn't have time to really go into it. Do a bit of research on something called a SWOT analysis. So SWOT is all about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And again, you can do these on yourself to self-analyze. You say, what are my strengths? You know, what are my weaknesses? Where are my opportunities in my life? What threats do I face? You know, and that helps you plan your activity and say, what is sensible? How can I, you know, get the best out of my activity with the best of my strengths? So that's really, really important of that. The next one, Danny. Oh yeah, so it's the actual handout itself, which is the actual activity planner. So
I've got that here.
Pop it up.
Hang on. Oh no, hang on. I need to go back to screen share. Oh god, told you I wasn't very good. 1 second.
No worries.
I've got it because you sent me it. And
Brilliant.
here it is.
Brilliant. So it's a really simple tool. So I haven't created anything profound by any stretch of the imagination. But what this will help you do, and I'm going to improve this, is it just lets you look at, you know, when you're looking back and saying, what was I doing last week? How can I look at what I did last week that why my business didn't grow? So I can say, right, on Monday I did this, on Tuesday I did this, Wednesday I did this. And like I say, it also works the other way. So planning your next week of activities, I've been using it and it's seriously helped me stick to my activities by having it with me. I carry it around with my bag and remind myself, you know, and it's just broken down into the categories that I discussed on the last slide. So it just helps you have a bit of structure and organisation for you. So really happy to send this out. Really, really happy, you know, kind of for everybody to use this. So, you know, I want people to use this for themselves, sitting down with the consultants. And I'd also like to set you all a challenge, if that's all right. So I'm really, really aware that, Danny, you are trying to aim for region. And obviously, anything we can do to help you get to region. Now, no one's asking you to go away from this and suddenly start doing 10 activities a week. If you want to grow your business in the best way, then go for it. Get your 10 activities in and really smash that. So what I'd like everyone to do, if this is okay, by the way, if I'm stepping in over any lines.
I don't even know what you're going to say.
I want everyone to pick a week in April. And I want everyone to print off one of these activity planners. And I want you to all plan your activity. And I want everyone to try for 1 week as a minimum in April to do 10 activities as a minimum. And this will help Danny, and this will help Zoe, and this will help all of you, you know, boost your businesses. So that's the challenge I'd like to set everyone. And I'm going to do it as well. But I'm going to try and do it for every week. So it's just a challenge I'd like to set everyone, is that for 1 week as a minimum, do 10 or more activities in your business and see what it benefits you. So yeah, so the activity tracker, guys. So see how you get on with it. It will be really, really great. And obviously, yeah.
Yes, I didn't realise that was the whole slideshow. I was like trying to find the rest of it. That was
no, that's it. I was just waffling until.
That was brilliant. And when I first heard that on Thursday at Clare Shaw's Region Training, I was blown away. And I think there was about 10 of us that travelled over from Melton Mowbray to the training in Kegworth, and we heard Luke, and we literally sat there nudging each other, going, "He's a star! Oh, He's a superstar. He's one to watch. We were like, he's amazing. So afterwards, I messaged him and I was like, you were so good. Please, can you do this for our team? Because it's amazing. And I'm sure everyone will agree that was fantastic. And Luke, you just have the most amazing energy. And as soon as you came into this business, I could tell that you were somebody to watch. You are definitely somebody to watch, and you are, without a shadow of a doubt, going to be walking that stage in Vegas next year, either as an RVP or an MVP. You are phenomenal. You really are amazing.
Thank you so much, Danny. Honestly, the people that you meet and stuff, everyone is phenomenal in their own ways. And, you know, I find it's really important for everybody, you know, to define yourselves and what you are. So what I know that I'm good at is I love interactivity. I love involving people when I'm talking. I love being expressive and I love being enthusiastic. You know, everyone's not like me. I get that. And everyone has their own amazing strengths and qualities. But start to think about what defines you as individuals. You know, it's great to go, you know, Danny is amazing. Zoe is amazing. And we all look up to them, which is so, so great. But start thinking, look, you know, take their wisdom and start saying, how can I grow into an individual in my own right? So, you know, take the advice, take the skills that they can offer and take the motivation while you can, but start thinking what defines me as an individual. Because I think I'm starting to realize what's defining me. So I'd like everyone to start thinking about that as well. You know, you don't have to copy others, create new things, create new techniques. If they work, they work. If they don't, you know, not to use them again. But just start defining yourselves and you'll soon see that you'll feel so much more confident and your businesses will be smashing.
Thank you, Lou. That's amazing.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Right. Okay. So now I'm going to briefly hand it over to independent consultant Ian Wells to introduce his amazing direct. I'll let him introduce her.
Right. Evening all. Right. I've known Sam for nearly 10 years, and for whatever reason, we drifted. We stopped talking, and Christmas last year, I dropped her a message regarding the business, and for whatever reason, she joined. I mean, I couldn't believe it. In 35 minutes, she was sold. I wish everyone was like that, you know. So, you know, since day one, she really has. She's been brilliant. She's been an absolute superstar, and I can't wait for you to hear her story. So, over to you, Sam. Boom.
Oh gosh, hello. Right, am I all right volume-wise?
Yeah.
Good, okay. Right, hello everyone, and hello to everyone I've already met and everyone I've not yet met. And Luke, that was brilliant, by the way. And I've already been using your activity thing to kind of set goals for my team this week. So, yeah, really, really helpful. Okay, so my why. Obviously, Danny only asked me a little while ago, so it's a bit rough. But I hope everyone can kind of learn something from it, really, and take something away. So the date's 5th of April 2015, and I'm finally ready to share my real why. This is my very personal, very honest story. So from the age of 15, I've been in non-stop employment throughout my education, and I've worked every spare hour that I could to earn what I've had. And if I had nearly finished at sixth form, I'd be straight into town and I'd be working the rest of the afternoon at Superdrug. That's how I met Danny, to sort of earn some extra cash. And I was also working at a pub at the same time as doing my A-levels, so I had 2 jobs going. I've always had quite a strong work ethic, which I think I get from my dad. I'd work anything from sort of 20 to 40 hours a week whilst doing my A-levels, so I don't really know how I got through that. And this continued throughout my university as well, because my student loan didn't even cover my rent. So obviously to have everything else, you had to work all the hours you could. So, you know, just to survive as a student. But when I finished my course, and I got a 2-1, I had 1 week off to actually, sort of before I started my full-time job. So I got back to Leicester, recovered from my final exams. It was all a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest. And I started a full-time job in healthcare. And, you know, I worked anything up to 75 hours a week over a year to actually afford a deposit for the house that me and my partner Matt have now got. And I knew I'd kind of only got a year and a half before I was going to do my masters. So I plunged myself back into education. And I didn't know this was actually going to be the hardest time of my life. And I was already kind of running on empty when I started it. So I started my nursing masters in January 2014. And from Christmas time of 2013, I knew my mum was really, really poorly. And in March 2014, she was finally rushed into hospital in an ambulance, and we genuinely thought that was it. We were going to lose her. You know, and the doctors weren't very hopeful either. And I continued attending almost all of my lectures whilst travelling between Nottingham, Derby and Leicester, kind of on a regular basis. You know, I'd be getting phone calls whilst I was sat in lectures to tell me, you know, my mum had deteriorated. And on a couple of occasions, you know, I actually had to leave the lectures to dash back to Leicester because we thought, you know, she was dying, basically. You know, and we thought she was going. So everyone loves their mum, you know, but we've always had a really, really special bond. You know, and we've always kind of called ourselves best friends, and, you know, I'll tell her all the latest gossip and all this kind of thing. So you can kind of imagine, obviously, how hard this was to manage, whilst supporting and trying to be strong for my family and, you know, my younger siblings, and actually managing a full-time master's at the same time. I was kind of in a turmoil, really. But much to the doctor's surprise, she began to improve when she really wasn't supposed to be. And it was an absolute miracle. You know, and she was discharged from hospital and we were absolutely delighted, even though she could actually barely walk and she was incredibly confused. My sister took a lot of time off work to help care for her, and she was fantastic. And just as things started to pick up, she was actually rushed back into hospital again. And this has happened on several occasions throughout last year. So by the end of the year, my nerves were absolutely shot. You know, I was constantly waiting for phone calls, you know, saying that my mum had deteriorated again and that I needed to rush back, and, you know, fearing that I was actually going to lose my mum on one of these times, and to have that over and over and over again over the course of the year was tough. You know, and it really begins to affect your own mental well-being and your own health. And my anxiety levels just went out the roof. And, you know, I had to seek kind of whatever support I could to continue my master's, obviously to keep going with my own life as well. Thankfully today, you know, she's stable. She was in hospital only a month ago with another scare, so it's still ongoing, but, you know, we're managing. So obviously things were hard enough in 2014. And I also had to work whatever spare shifts I could to kind of fit in to earn some extra cash, as we all do. But fortunately, my long-term partner, Matt, is incredibly supportive, and he's fantastic and often funded various different bits for me when I just couldn't afford them. He actually paid my £54 as well, might I add. So he's my absolute saviour. God bless him. So, you know, I've really realised this year just how important my own health is as well, which I've never really bothered about before, if I'm honest. So now for a little bit of personal information, although I'm not afraid to share this, so, you know, hang in there, guys. Early December 2014, I had my first cervical cancer screening appointment. So obviously ladies will know this isn't particularly pleasant, and I'd put it off for months. I'd actually had the letter in June, so I'd put it off nearly 6 months. So I went along, got it done, really proud of myself for doing it, 'cause it's not the nicest experience, and I kind of thought nothing more of it. You know, I had so much else going on, didn't really think about it again. But just a couple of weeks later, I actually received a letter in the post stating that I had high-grade dyskaryosis, which is a significant change affecting the cells in your cervix. So obviously this petrified me. You know, your mind goes off to all sorts of places. You know, and whenever I've actually had anything happen in my life, I've always shared it with my mum. And obviously, you know, I couldn't share this with her. You know, she had enough going on, needed to kind of protect her and put her first and foremost. So same with my family as well. You know, we'd had a really tough year, and I just didn't need to share this with them. Fortunately, obviously, I've got Matt, you know, and he's taken the day off work, took me into hospital for investigations, and you know, he was fantastic. And you know, had to have biopsies taken, and it was quite unpleasant and uncomfortable, but definitely doable if anyone ever has to go through it. So, you know, but my results came back 3 weeks later, stating I had CIN2 cells, which basically, if they're left untreated, will probably turn into cancer. So I had to go into hospital to have LETS treatment, to have these cells removed. And it was quite a significant effect on my body. It's only a small part of you, but it's so delicate, you know, so it kind of knocked me. But the staff were fantastic, and, you know, I really couldn't thank them enough. 2.5 weeks later, I decided to sweep and mop downstairs. Thought, you know, be nothing nothing major. You know, I was told I could go back to spin classes after 2 weeks. Thought a bit of sweeping and mopping, a bit of spring clean will be fine. How wrong could I be? I started to bleed out quite heavily. Matt was really worried. I was really worried. We ended up on the phone to the hospital, and I ended up in emergency gynecology ward at the QMC. But again, luckily it stopped itself, and it was just another setback. But again, this is whilst I'm on placement, trying to do all my nursing hours and manage my masters, and it's just one more thing to add to the list, and it just kept setting me back and back and back. But thankfully my results came back. You know, they'd removed all the affected cells, and what were level 2 cells had changed to level 3, which is just before they turn into cancer. So they'd actually caught the cells just in time. So ladies, if you've not had your smears done, go and get them booked in. And you can message me, it's fine, but go and get them booked in. But obviously that really brought my own mortality to, you know, the forefront of my life for a minute there, because it was scary. So obviously I took a lot of time out of placement while all this happened, although I managed to complete all my hours, which I'm thrilled about. You know, and I also had one of my old friends contact me in this time, who was incredibly suicidal and feeling horrendous, and ringing me saying, you know, she wanted to throw herself under a car, and it was horrendous. Anyway, I ended up in hospital with her, and, you know, she'd taken an overdose, and again, another thing to add to the list, and trying to continue with placement and push forwards, and quite difficult, but again, you just kind of stick with it. And I think this shows that, you know, no matter what's going on in life, if you set your mind to something, we can do it. You know, I think positive mental attitude is a massive thing. And I'm not going to lie, you know, I broke down in tears at times, and, you know, we're all only human at the end of the day. But I really do believe that if you've got the right attitude and mindset about something, you really can push through tough times. So anyway, we're on 5th of April now, 2015, and I'm awaiting a smear in about 4 or 5 months, which will basically give me the all clear. My mum and my friend are still alive and kicking, and relatively stable at the moment. So, you know, I can just only be thankful for that. Still struggling with my anxiety and my stress levels, but got a grip on it and, you know, managing it. And I've got 8 more months of my masters to do, and I am telling you now, I'm going to nail this course, even if it kills me, and I'm going to get a blooming good grade as well. But I'll finish off anyway. The moral of my story is that I have worked, in quotes, my ladyballs off for the last decade, and I am now tired of worrying about money. You know, when there's so much more going on in life, you know, money's not the first and foremost thing that, you know, we should be worrying about, you know. And I want to put my family's health, my own health, and my boyfriend and our life first, without having to worry about cutting it fine, being down to my last £10 every single month. You know, and that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years. So I want to do this for myself, but also I want to be able to share this life and this business with friends and family, so, you know, everyone can learn how we can put more into the things in life that actually should be put first and foremost. You know, because our life shouldn't be dominated by our jobs. You know, we should be working the jobs around ill family health and, you know, cancer scares and whatever else is going on. It shouldn't be the other way around. You know, so now is the time for us, and I believe wholeheartedly that this business will give each and every one of us the power, you know, if we actually just try. And I really do believe in positive mental attitude as well. And, you know, we really can do anything if we put our minds to it. So even if we're having a bad day, do you know what? Change your attitude, get in a good mindset, and just keep pushing forwards. And that's it, really. So thanks, guys.
That was brilliant, Sam. That was lovely. Thank you so much. And yeah, if anyone did miss the bit where Ian said that he messaged Sam, told her about the business, and she joined within 35 minutes. I think that is hilarious. It is the shortest time I've ever known anyone to first ever hear anything about network marketing or Arbonne and join so quickly. That is amazing. And Sam, you're just doing so well. You joined the end of December, was it? The 31st?
Yeah, 31st.
Yeah, so the last day of December, and we're now in April, and she's just flying. This girl is one to watch. She is amazing, and she doesn't live local to us, so she doesn't get to come to all the local things, but she will travel to come along to the big events like region training and the product events. She's amazing. This girl is fantastic, and she's been through so much in the past 10 years. It puts a lot of us to shame. Sam, you're doing amazing. You really are a fantastic girl. You really are. And you're just the loveliest person. I just want to squeeze you. You're so sweet.
Thanks. And can I just also say, obviously with the sort of cervical screening and that, obviously I've done, most of you kind of know, I've done a lot of awareness on Facebook, you know, posted it, it's gone global. But, you know, if anyone has got anything, you know, are worried about getting the first smear or, you know, are going through treatment themselves, you know, I don't really care who you are. If you want a message, if you want any support, I'm quite happy to, you know, have messages and give you some nitty gritty gory details.
Oh, Sam, you're so lovely for helping everybody. Okay, so that wraps up the call. So hopefully we'll see most of you at the product events next Saturday. So a week today, 9 o'clock at John Fernley. Bring all your family, your mum, your dad, your aunties, uncles. Bring everyone along, and we'll see you all next Saturday. That's everything. Great, and thank you to Luke as well. Thank you to Luke and Sam and Ian. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye,
See you next
everyone.
week.
Bye.
Bye.